Hello, everyone. I am being brave and doing this with my toddler running around in the background. So I just want to give you a heads up that if there's more background noise than usual, that is why. I tried to record this live on Facebook earlier today, and my Wi-Fi was just not having it. I went and rewatched it to see how badly it cut out, and it was not worth anybody's time to watch. So I am back here for the second time today, recording this video to give you a bit of an overview, to pull back the curtain on the Sovereign Wealth Blueprint and give you some insights into what it actually looks like behind the scenes, how it integrates with my business and my spiritual work, and why I finally said yes to an opportunity after many years and dozens of proposals and opportunities that I have said no to in the past. So, especially because this isn't live, if you have any questions that you feel like I didn't quite cover, or if the answers to these questions spark more questions for you, please just reach out in a DM and let me know, or you can leave a comment on this video if you're catching it on social media. And I'll just kind of get into it and dive into what pulled me to say yes to this opportunity, and why I'm so excited to actually share it with you. So, like I'm sure many of you, I am probably one of the most skeptical people when it comes to MLMs, multi-level marketing, network marketing, that whole industry, that whole business structure. I have a very skeptical, untrusting relationship with it. And part of it is because of just the tactics that are used, which is the same in the coaching industry as well. But part of it is also um, just the predatory vibe behind it, right? I have never been able to get on board with selling an overpriced product to people that may or may not be exactly what they say it is, because there's all these proprietary blends on the back of the label and all of those kinds of things. And also things that require you to go sign up other people in the business and require you to have minimum volume and those kinds of things to even be eligible for your commission to be paid out. All of that stuff puts this weight and puts this pressure on people to step out of integrity with themselves in order to make their business goals happen, right? Or at least to not be like majorly losing money on them in the meantime as they're building, right? So what it does is it creates a very questionable hustle culture of, well, I need to get people in because right now I'm paying $300 a month in products, and I'm short a little bit to earn my commission, and I worked so hard for that commission, but I can't get it unless I spend so much money, or unless my team spends enough money, or whatever the case may be, right? It turns into this culture of hunting people down, trying to get them to buy these products, begging people to buy these overpriced products. And in today's economy, that just doesn't work. I mean, it never sat right with me. My first experience with an MLM was when my mom joined one like 15 years ago or longer. And even that, I didn't feel amazing about some of the pieces of the structure back then. And I was only 14, 15 at the time. Um, so there's a complicated relationship there, right? And so when you hear the term network marketing, there's a skepticism, there's a hesitation, there's a, how do I really feel about this? And with this one, I felt an intuitive yes before I even fully understood what I was looking at. And I just kind of had to trust myself and explore further and really like dive into, okay, what's this actually about? Does this actually make sense? And I went through and I picked it apart, and I was ultra critical. For those of you who know me on a personal level, you know that like when I have a question about something, I dig and I dig and I dig. It is like that ADHD hyperfixation kicks in, and I am like going all in, doing my research, asking around, digging up the dirt on the Reddit threads, but also making sense of it in my own mind, right? Because ultimately other people's opinions of something don't really faze me all that much. My biggest thing is, does it make sense? Where's the company making their money? How are they experiencing sustainable growth? How can they afford to pay out such a generous compensation plan? Those are some of the questions that I had in the beginning. And I'm happy to answer those questions to anybody who wants more information on that after you've heard more about the opportunity. If it's something that interests you, I will happily dive into my own findings and share those. But that feels a little bit premature compared to the questions that have been coming through my inbox and the questions that I've been answering in the DMs. So I'm going to kind of go into, first of all, what changed, and then I'm going to go into some questions. So what's really different, what changed my mind about still not the entire multi-level marketing industry, but stepping into this network marketing company, was that I found a model that actually aligns with my values. It is accessible, it is ethical, it is clean, and it is designed to support everyday people. And I think that's the most beautiful thing, is that it's not just aimed at the 1%. It is truly aimed at helping people be healthier, be wealthier, and overall thrive, even in these insanely trying times where a lot of people are strapped and a lot of people are struggling. This is really a company that has shown me, in the research I've done, in the calls I've been on with the CEO and the founders, they have shown me a level of integrity that I never expected to see from a network marketing company. And that was like a really big thing for me, was like being able to trust that I was aligning myself with something that was aligned, right? Like for simple terms, like it really had to be something that I could get behind, something that I believed fully in. And this is what I found, and this is why I'm sharing it the way that I am. So the first common question that even I had on my mind when I first heard about this is like, isn't this just another pyramid scheme? Isn't this just another network marketing, company? Like, what makes this different than anything else? And so the the qualifications of what makes a pyramid scheme, obviously pyramid schemes themselves are elite, but there's different metrics for what actually makes something a pyramid scheme. One of them is, do they sell a product? The answer is yes. That's a pretty simple one. Most all MLMs that are out there that have ever been looked at do follow, they do sell a product, right? But the other thing that is good to like look at when you're evaluating, like, is this ethical? Because there's legal and there's ethical, right? And for me, is this ethical, was looking at, does this benefit the end consumer? If somebody didn't want to grow a business, if somebody didn't want to become an affiliate or whatever, like, does this benefit the person at the bottom, right? And to me, this one was such a no-brainer with this company, because what is going on? I just put another product order in, and full transparency, my monthly membership cost for this company is $10 a month. And my cart, the savings in that cart were almost $40. And that was on like a $70 order. So that in and of itself is enough for me to look at and be like, okay, even if I didn't sell a single thing, having this membership is worth it for me because I'm saving $40. Now, the difference between the products that you get from this company and the products that you would buy on Amazon or at the grocery store or at the health food store, there's an even bigger gap between what they sell for and what this company sells for. And then there's yet another discount between their retail price of this company and the membership price of this company. So it pays for itself over and over and over again just by having a membership and using wellness products, like, truthfully. So that's the biggest thing is like I would go and talk to any single person who takes products like this and say, hey, have you seen this? This could benefit you. This could save you money. And it's so funny because like I don't consider myself to be like a cheap person, but I definitely like saving money where I can so that I can splurge when I want to splurge, right? Like that's part of the balance of life of having a family of 5 is managing the finances so that when you do want something that's a little extra or a little abundant or you want to splurge on something, you can do that without feeling guilty about it because you know that you saved money in other places. This is one of those things that is saving you money in other places and arguably that can make you money as well. So that's just like the first piece when I'm looking at this as a network marketing company. You're not buying overpriced products. You're not having to pay my commission with your markup on your products that you're getting, right? And so like that's a key thing. And then there's also no minimum quota. Like you can sign up and you can do nothing and earn commission, and you can sign up and you can grow and you can earn commission. So there's no minimum volumes. There's nothing like that that all of these other companies have. And to me, that was really appealing because I know what I have to spend in a month. It's $10. If I want to order products, I will take advantage of my savings on those products. And if I don't want to order products that month, or I have a backlog, or money's tighter than usual and I just can't, that's okay too, because I don't have to in order to get paid my commissions. And that was a huge thing for me. I was like, oh, wow. And that was when the realization, the light bulb came on about the integrity of this company. And it's because of the business model. It's because of where they generate their revenue from. The next question is like relating to alignment with my existing business, with coaching, with my spiritual mission, my soul mission. Like, does it take away from that? Does it, how do you balance both? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first was looking for a passive or residual income opportunity, I was looking for something that would be completely on the down low. I was looking for something that maybe I would talk to some people in the DMs, or that I would even start a completely separate page for, that wouldn't be super forward facing in my existing business, because I have worked so freaking hard on my brand and on what I stand for that I didn't want anything taking the spotlight away from my soul mission, right? Which is to help empower people. It's to help people reclaim their sovereignty. And so I was looking for something that I could grow kind of low key, down low, without having to be really public about it. And even when I first said yes to this opportunity, I still didn't intend to be public with it. I was still going to just kind of talk to some people behind the scenes who I thought it would be a good fit for and those kinds of things. That's why the pressure of having a minimum volume a month just did not work for me and was a deal breaker. Because I knew it would be a slower build and I was okay with that. But what I have realized over the last couple of weeks with this company is that it's not in integrity for me to not share it, because it aligns with so many of my values and so much of my soul mission, right? Helping women in the personal development realm, helping them build their businesses, build out multiple income streams, not have to hustle all the time so they can be really present mothers and wives and just really present in their lives, having the financial stability, even when they're not on, or even when life takes them out of their business, right? And they have to take a break. For those of you who have been around for a while, you know that the last 2 years for me have been a big step back and reevaluating what do I want? How do I want to bring in money? What revenue streams do I want in my business? Do I want to constantly be coaching and scaling and those kinds of things? Or do I just want, a couple of really intimate clients and then do other things with my life? And so this was kind of like an answered prayer in that way. Walker, why are you hitting things? This was kind of an answered prayer in that way because it's something that is recurring and sustainable and doesn't require me to be on all the time, but it's in perfect alignment. Every single woman and client that I have worked with can benefit from residual income. And doing so in a way that doesn't require them to stretch themselves thin. $10 a month, you guys. $50 up front, $10 a month. And on top of that, I get to then pour my leadership and my coaching and my mentorship and all of the skills that I've acquired through the last 10 years of my life. I get to pour them into these people and they get to access that for $10 a month. When I had my membership a couple of years ago, I was selling that for 99 a month. And this is $10. And you get a very similar, if not the same, level of access to what you were getting back then. But it's because I believe in this so strongly and because it's allowing me a vessel and a community in which to contribute and to give something meaningful to the world while building my residual income, but also while helping you build yours. And so it's actually been something that has made me come back alive, made me fall back in love with community and coaching and my own leadership. It's brought me back into touch with that, where I've been so focused on the home for the last 2 years and, being a mom and raising a baby and all of those things. This is bringing me back to life. And so I would argue that it's not at all taking away from my coaching business. Hi, come here. But that it's actually pulling me further in and allowing me to fall back in love with it, which has been really magical. And then on top of that, it's forced me to clarify my message, right? Like there's some foundational pieces that shift and evolve over time, and it's like, what do you really stand for? What's your brand voice? What really is like, what are you about? What could you share about passionately forever? And having to integrate this stream of income into my life, into my business, has forced me to really clarify and look at, okay, what are the overarching themes? And what am I really passionate about? And what is it that I help people with? And it's reclaiming their sovereignty. It's reclaiming their sovereignty in business, in the home, in the government and the country that they live in. It's really building that freedom-based life so that you can snuggle your babies while you're recording a video. Um, but like, so it forced me to clarify exactly what it is that I'm passionate about and that sets me apart and what message I'm really here to share on a soul level with the world. And I know for a fact, I mean, I'm not the type of person that can fake something. So it's one of those things that I would not be this lit up about it if I wasn't genuinely lit up by it, right? Like I wouldn't be on here talking about it. I wouldn't be doing it. I would be so far in avoidance, you guys. I would be baking sourdough, which I also did, by the way. This company has like literally brought me back to life because it had been like 4 or 5 months since I'd even made a loaf of sourdough. And it's just igniting my life force again. Like I can't even tell you. So, all of that to say, it actually is pushing me in my leadership. It's pushing me in my business and my messaging and my brand and what I stand for and showing up and getting visible again. Like all of these things have expanded me already. And it's only the beginning. I just started a couple of weeks ago. So, um, that's something. And it's been really amazing to witness because for a while I wasn't sure if I was going to come back to coaching. Okay. Next question, what are the numbers actually like? So I don't want to go too deep into this because the compensation plan is available in the webinar that I can link you to if you're interested in more information. And you can look at the earning potential and things like that. What I will say is that it is not a get rich quick scheme in the sense that it is very easy to make your ROI back. I mean, I'm 2 weeks in and I have already made my initial investment plus my membership for the year back because they have what's called fast start bonuses. And so just off of those bonuses, I have made that money back already. I am already broken even in the green. So that's a great start. Just for like a very realistic standpoint. I did that in the span of 2 weeks. the actual building of the residual income does come a little bit slower. And it's one of those things, again, because you're not like back against a wall, forced to share things, forced to grow, forced to expand. It doesn't happen overnight for everyone. And that being said, there are people who rank up very, very quickly because they take it and they run. And, within 8 months, they're hitting diamond, which is like one of the top tiers of the company. So it can be done. It really depends on who you are and what you really want out of it, and whether you want it to just be a couple hundred extra a month, or if you want it to be this big explosive thing for you. Like, it's really your decision. That being said, if you are actively working on it, like, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to think of the numbers here. I'm at least 150 2 weeks in. Um, so like that's a start. As far as the residuals, I won't know yet until my monthly commission comes in next month, but it's one of those things that will be a slower build, but it's also something that's a sustainable build because you get paid every single month. It's not like you just sign somebody up and then you never get that commission again. You get that commission every single month. And then as your team also signs people up, like you get different commissions and matching bonuses and things like that within the compensation plan. So if you're interested in that, I will send you the webinar. Just send me a message with the word sovereign or I'm interested, and I will get you that webinar so that you can really look at the specifics of the numbers. And also you can check out the post that I made yesterday on Facebook. I think it's on my Instagram too. The image says get rich slowly. And that's the post that you can look at for a case study of growing something that is honestly a reasonable growth target for like a month, and what you can start to create as like recurring income from there, as well as the bonuses and things like that. Like I broke down the numbers for you so that you can see a more realistic, as opposed to like, oh, you'll make this or you'll make that. This is like, if you got this many people and this happened, these are the numbers. This is the way that the math works. So you can have a look at that if you're more interested in that piece. And the last question that kind of came up is like, well, what if I do have like a small following, or what if I'm like an introvert and I don't really want to, do direct sales? And I would argue that like a lot of us that are listening to this who already have businesses and things like that probably don't have that issue too much. But even if you were just like me when I stepped in and wanted to keep it on the down low and didn't really want to get super vocal and super public about it and all of that, I completely understand that, because that's where I was too. It's important to remember that this is relationship based and it's also value based. And so you can share it quietly. You can share it intimately. And you don't have to hit massive volume, because it's a combination of your own efforts and your own sharing, which when you feel really good about something, you will naturally share it. But then also, you never know who you're going to sign up, and you never know who's going to sign up, who's then going to run with it, or even them, if they just share it with a friend and then that friend runs with it. And there are different like matching bonuses and things like that within the compensation plan where you can still be pretty successful without constantly enrolling hundreds of people, right? So if you're okay with building slow, you don't have to be loud about it. You don't have to, shout it from the rooftops. Like I said, you might end up like me and want to, but you don't have to. It's really, this business model is about resonance, and it's about heart-centered sharing. And it's not about going viral and all of that. Now, that being said, inside the training hub, there is a TikTok training that helps you get like thousands of leads. So if that's what you want to do, you can absolutely do that as well. But definitely not required, and not something that I'm actively doing at the moment. So for me, like, this is so much more than just income. It's revolutionizing the way that we look at money. And the way that we work for money. And needing to start at zero or needing to get really strategic with stacking MRR and things like that in our coaching business. And yes, do those things, of course, do them. Um, but for me, this is like an avenue that takes the pressure off of that, where I don't feel like I have to be married to my coaching business all the time because I'm building something sustainable that is, building a foundation for my income that I can depend on. And that's a huge sigh of relief. And then everything that I do on top of that is just that. It's bonus. So it's shifting the way that we relate to work and hard work and wealth and even motherhood. It's shifting our capacities and our abilities to lean back and literally lean back and nurse your baby. It's building a soft, supported life where you can just exist and your soul work and your income and your impact can coexist with all of the other responsibilities of life. And that was like really what I was looking for. That's what I'm determined to make happen for all of you as well. It always has been. For those of you who have done business coaching with me, you know that the strategies we come up with are 100% custom and tailored to what's going to work with your lifestyle and your energy and your schedules and those kinds of things. And this is just a push even farther into that direction of being able to just relax and not worry about where the next paycheck is coming from. So if you feel yourself leaning in, if you are like feeling that little pull, that little nudge that you want to learn more, just DM me the word sovereign and I will share some more information with you. We can have a conversation, see if it's a good fit for you. And if you have any other questions, just leave them down in the comments or send me a message with your questions and I'm happy to come on video again and answer them um, or just answer them in the DMs or, whatever. But I really hope that if you're feeling that pull like I did, that you say yes, because these last 2 weeks have been absolutely transformational for me. And this is only the beginning. And I have gotten more easy yeses through this channel than I have ever in my life or business or anything. And don't get me wrong, you still hear no sometimes, but it's just been one of those things that has already been so transformational for me, and it's only just beginning. And it kind of feels like it's like building itself in a way. So, yeah, if you're interested, reach out. We can have a conversation. I'm never going to push or pressure or hard sell anybody because honestly, I don't want those people on my team anyway. But I'm happy to share information, share my experience, share what I know, find you answers, resource you, whatever you need to make the most empowered decision for you. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope that you have the most amazing weekend ahead. It is almost the weekend, and I will talk to you so soon. Bye for now.